before we go to presenting the different work packages, I would like to draw your attention to the actual website here. So if you go to Outcomes, you will now be able to download all the books and toolkit. And if you want to have it in your own language, you just switch your language and then it comes in your language under Outcomes here. So without further ado, I will now present the first, which is the ebook. And Lotta, are you ready?
Yes, I think you already said all these things. This is the ebook. We call it the Local Knowledge Centers as Development Hubs in Rural Regions. And that was really the starting point of the project. And we all try to find out the current status for knowledge centers in each country. And we try to present it in different ways in the book. You said, Noah, that you showed the link, so you can find it there, and you also told that it is translated into all the partner languages at the website. So I think that is what you need to know. I will tell you something about the what is inside the ebook. What can you find there? And as someone said before we started, what is a knowledge center? That's really what we started to discuss. How can we define a knowledge center? What does they look like in our different countries? And we found out that they differ both between countries and within countries. They don't look the same in many places at all. Not even in the countries where we think we have developed the concept, like in Sweden, that they also look very much different with each other. So we started with the vision about the 3 M's, the meeting place, the mediator, and the motor. And that is actually a Norwegian-Swedish concept, where we try to define the project, the 3 M's. And that wasn't easy either. So we had to discuss what kind of indicators can we have to define the 3 M's. And we developed that, so you can find that in the book. How can we see that a knowledge center is a meeting place or a mediator or a motor? So that was the first part. And then we have to ask ourselves, what does it look in our countries, in our own countries? So each partner has summarized their situation and also acknowledged the challenges, because that there are many of them in every country, actually. And then we had to try to find what are the good examples in our own countries. So each country has been asked to highlight one or two examples of good practice. And the one that you will hear about from Campus Västervik with Jerry Engström as a keynote speaker, that's one of the Swedish good examples. And we discussed how can we define that? And the project members have agreed to try to find examples of organizations where they work with at least 2 of the 3M elements. Is it a meeting point, a mediator, and a motor? At least 2 of them. And then we try to discuss what role can they play. And of course that differs depending on what the focus of the knowledge center are. But we can also see that in all the countries' reports, it's evident that the different centers are appreciated by both participants and the surrounding communities. But unfortunately, we also had to state that there is not much documented evidence or research about the actual impact that the centers have. We really defined a lack of research. Most of what the research we found was done in Sweden and Iceland and points at the development of the 3 M's if the knowledge centers wants to be a development hub in the rural regions or in their own regions. They don't have to be rural. So the existing research actually points at the development of the 3Ms. Thank you.
I'll take over from here because the mentoring part of this project, when we had the ebook, was sort of a picture of how reality was before the project or under the project, and you can go in and read the findings there. That's really really exciting to see how the different countries are doing distance learning. Then we had to find out what was what we had to work with, and the thing that we did was that we created a toolkit. The partners created different kinds of exercises that would enable people to become mentors. So when you're looking at the toolkit, you have to see that this is a set of tools that will enable you to become a good mentor if you can do like active listening and find out how to gauge your network abilities and stuff like that. So we have a whole lot of items in the toolkit. And Begonia, who is not here today because it's a national holiday in Spain, she has presented this little movie, and I think we should see it. Fantastic. And as I showed you before, the toolkit can be found under Outcomes, and you can find the ebook here, and you can find the toolkit here. After we made the toolkit, we decided to have a mentoring session. So we actually created an online platform for having sort of a blended mentoring program. So the blended mentoring program is that you have face-to-face meetings between mentor and mentee, and then you have a virtual space where you can share documents, and you can video chat and Zoom, and you can have sort of different messaging systems. This can be copied to every other normal system where you can have communication between people. But we had to sort of have a closed sandbox where we could provide our mentorship program. So that's what we did in the mentoring program. And now you will hear how that actually worked in practice. So we'll now give the microphone to Iceland, and they can tell you about how they did it up there.
So hi everybody, my name is Christine and I come from KnowHUBs Knowledge Center, and we are located in southeast of Iceland. We work in collaboration with local and international institutions on education, research, innovation, and culture. Every project we do is to support rural development and quality of life in our region. So I would like to share with you how we focus on local youth in our project throughout the KnowHUBs. So as you've heard, the main focus of the project was to empower marginalized groups with a blended mentoring program. From the start, we decided to focus on young adults in our community, and this decision was based on results from our previous projects that we have worked on here, which shed light on the status and social participation of young people in our municipality. Well, the young people here experience themselves as outsiders of the society. They feel that they do not belong to this community of children and not to the community of adults. And the results of this prior participation surveys that we have made showed the need for support and empowerment for this group. And while we were digging into the 3M theory for knowledge centers as ourselves, we came to realize that the concept of meeting point, motor, and mediator is also characteristic for the work of the local youth and their councils, and their goal is essentially the same as ours, only for a more specific group. So we invited representatives of the local youth to our hands-on approach workshops, and these individuals came from Hortafjörður Municipality's Youth Council and the Student Council of the local secondary school. And the workshop we called Effective Young Leadership, and its goal was to support the leadership of young people in the councils and strengthen them as 3M in their work, with and for local youth and the service and the society as a whole. The skills we selected from the KnowHUBs toolkit were based on the objective of the workshop, considering the work and role of the leaders of the councils. We used skills such as research, management and organizations, marketing and communication, emotional intelligence, networking, action planning, goal setting, information management, and problem solving. At the end of the workshop, we asked the participants to help us set the focus for the blended mentoring program, so the local youth's input was prevailing throughout the course. Of course, we also sent out an anonymous survey, and we did get very positive feedbacks, especially regarding the usefulness and entertainment value of our material. Our blended mentoring program, designed with the help of the council members, was a 6-week course with 3 group meetings, where we introduced selected skills from the handbook along with exercises and games. Homework for each participant to apply these skills in real life, and 5 individual meetings with a mentor to dig a bit deeper and reflect on previous work. Our target group was a local youth aged 16 to 20 years old, and with a great help from student councils and social services, we got 11 participants. They were all girls. During this course, our focus this time was not on leadership, but on personal growth. We examined diverse empowering skills from the toolkit, many of the same as the previous workshop, but with more focus on building rapport, self-care, and courage. On the first group meeting, we emphasized on positive thinking, perseverance, and solution-oriented thinking. Participants mapped out their own vision for the future, defined goals to get there, and designed an action plan. On the second group meeting, we discussed communication and networking, how we are responsible for how we express ourselves or talk to others and ourselves. Social participation and personal influence was the topic of our last meeting. The difference of a school society and a municipality as a whole, how do participants see themselves as active members of the society, and what are their opportunities to influence others, which was an interesting topic in the beginning of the first COVID wave here in Iceland. Regarding the individual meetings, all the participants preferred face-to-face meetings rather than through Zoom, and felt it was more personal, and they were sure their mentors were more present and engaged during the meeting. All individual meetings were held in person until the COVID pandemic, when we were forced to finish the course online. So we tried both with everybody, but I must say it was very important to do these kind of meetings on the participants' term, and whatever they feel best, most comfortable with, we can adapt to it. So this was a very rewarding work, and it was amazing to see the participants grow with the help of the KnowHUBs toolkit, and the blended mentoring program got a similar and very positive feedbacks as the workshop in anonymous surveys at the end of the course. And we are still contemplating how we can reach out and empower young men of our community, and look forward to adopt the toolkit and the skills for their needs as well. So this is it for me.
Perfect. I'll just
And I'll be there. Yes. Thank you, Noah. And thank you for having me here, because actually I was not in this program from the beginning. I am a mentor, and I'm a soft skills trainer. And I have to say special thanks to Georgia Pantiora, who was with you from the beginning. She's the representative of KnowHUBs Enterprise, which I am as well. KnowHUBs is an enterprise, a social enterprise with training adults, specifically in focusing in unemployment and mentoring. So today I'm going to talk to you how did we do it. Before I say that, I have to say that the case of Greece is quite special, because we had a financial crisis for 10 years. And just when we started to get out of it, COVID came. So unemployment is expected to rise to 20% by the end of the year. And the key industry of Greece, which is hospitality and tourism, is fully damaged. Therefore, we have a lot of young people who are unemployed. And that was our case. We were actually talking about unemployment, and that was what we were trying to do through this very, very special program. Also, we have a very lack of skills linking to labor market, meaning that we don't have a lot of adult training centers or educational centers that can link the issues directly to the labor market. So, hands-on approach to workshops. When we got to this, we got presented by two excellent trainers, Dr. Maria Gusia and Mrs. Vasilis Rizos. They actually presented this excellent tool for us on the 7th of February 2020, where 14 participants, mostly we were mentors, we were trainers, or administrative people who attended the workshop, and we got a fully knowledge of this excellent toolkit called KnowHUBs. Therefore, we started the mentoring experience. It started from May to October. We're very fortunate to have face-to-face sessions, because we just got out of COVID, which started in March, restrictions, and we had a few months ahead of us to have these face-on-face training sessions before starting the online sessions. We had 10 mentees, myself and Mrs. Mariana Tercidaki, another mentor. And this was a great experience for us. I want to stay a little bit here, because we really had good feedback from the participants, from the mentees, that they use the toolkit very good. We had this so-called, this virtual space and mentoring program through Zoom. We could meet each other, and then we could have the virtual space and sharing all kinds of training things, training sessions, training tips, and we could continue this session even after a while that we thought that maybe the training was over. So the ebook and the toolkit was totally implemented in a very special way that we got really good results. So we had an online, and I have to say here, from the 10 mentees, 5 of them got a job, and that was very important for us. And the rest of the 5 people, they told us that really helped them in their personal life. That's also something I have to stress, that this toolkit, these special tools, are not only for finding a job, or it's also from your personal development. That's really, really helpful, that you will find that in the future. In the 19th of November, a few weeks ago, we had a seminar and presented this to 29 participants, unemployed people, trainers and mentors as well, and had a really, really great feedback. And we like to link that to the rest of Greece, besides Athens, because we have seen that's a gap there in the rural section. And this toolkit will play, this ebook will play a special role. I would like to finish my short and brief presentation by a participant, a testimonial. During the program, I reconsidered many of my options and behaviors. The mentor gave me a boost to figure out what I'm doing wrong. Our mentoring relationship helped me to succeed into changing, for the better in all aspects of life. That's the main point for me, actually, and for all of us, that these things can actually KnowHUBs change a person's life, and that's what I want to thank you for. Thank you so much.